6:34 a.m. Let me take this time to welcome you here on Sunrise on Tobago Updates Television. I am your host, Lavian Cupid, and today is Tuesday, the 3rd of February, 2026. And as always, it is indeed a pleasure to be seated here before you. I want to start off this morning by apologizing for the late start as we had some technical difficulties, and we're going to go right into the morning brief, which we're going to keep centralized this morning right here in Tobago. As you know, some of these equipment, well, all of these equipment are man-made, and sometimes we do have technical difficulties, so we're unable to bring you your regional and international brief this morning. We're going to keep you updated right here home in Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago. Starting off with Tobago is facing a logistical nightmare with the TNT Spirit sidelined by mechanical failure, and it's a cargo replacement out of commission. The island's supply chain is effectively broken from empty grocery shelves to stalled construction sites. The impact is immediate and troubling, and troublingly familiar. We do have a video here from Chief Secretary Fali Augustine as he attempted to alleviate some of the worries of citizens here on the island. Take a look at this video.
I'm currently on the fast ferry heading back home after a beautiful weekend in Trinidad with my family, and I just wanted to talk to you directly about the recent challenges at the port in Scarborough. As many of you are aware, we have faced a difficult string of incidents and unfortunately accidents. The recently acquired Blue Wave Harmony and the TNT Spirit have both sustained damage following occurrences at the dock in town. Citizens were frustrated, to say the least, by being trapped on the ferry in Tobago for some long hours, and that should not have happened. It seems Murphy's Law has taken up residence at the port lately. Whatever could go wrong, unfortunately, has. Now, NITCO's technical teams are working around the clock to assess the impact and to ensure our sea bridge remains reliable. One of the most disappointing consequences of these logistical hurdles is a challenge to hosting the medium band finals in Tobago. So discussions are well underway between Pantrimbago, NITCO, the port, and so forth. And I'm sure you will hear from Pantrimbago soon. I know how much our PAN community and culture lovers, the THA itself, have been preparing to host this staple event on home soil. So it is indeed frustrating. More than that, the continued impact on commerce and our citizens cannot go unnoticed. I am therefore asking for your grace and your patience as we in the THA continue to push and work along with the Ministry of Works in Trinidad and Minister John, who has been very kind to us, to get these repairs done expeditiously so we can return to normalcy. We are committed to transparency, and NITCO, the Ministry, Pantrimbago, THA, and all other agencies will provide further updates as soon as full assessments are in. So let me stay focused on the spirit of the season and full joy the season while we resolve these infrastructure issues. Meanwhile, safe travels on the sea bridge over the coming days, and we look forward to soon having the service fully operational. Thank you. God bless you. Have a productive week ahead.
Trying to alleviate some of the concerns of islanders here in Tobago as we see the empty grocery shelves. Of course, persons are going to be worried as to what the week is going to look like, what next week is going to look like. But as he promised, talks with NITCO is underway, and so we look forward to getting some feedback on that. Continuing, Pantrimbago has released the unofficial results for the 2026 National Panorama semi-finals following a marathon session at the Queen's Park Savannah Savannah. In the large conventional category, Tobago-based Cats and Jammers secured 9th place with 276 points, while NLCB Buccaneers and RBC Redemption Songsetters also advanced the place in 15th and 16th respectively. In the medium category, Tobago's Dixieland sits in 5th with 270 points, followed by Steel Explosion in 7th. These bands all advanced to their respective finals. The medium bands are now tentatively scheduled for Sunday, February 8th at Tobago's Dwight York Stadium. The large band finals will take place on Saturday, February 14th at the Queen's Park, Savannah. The competition remains tight as bands vie for a share of over $25 million in total prize money and remittances allotted for this year. Of course, we wish Tobago's bands all the best. And finally, wrapping up in some news of crime on the island, a man was arrested in the early hours of Monday, February 2nd, 2026, following a firearm report at a bar in the Bonaccord area of Tobago. Around 4:10 a.m., police officers were on duty at a bar located at the corner of Milford Road and Mount Pleasant Avenue, was approached by an informant who reported that a man had pointed a firearm at him before walking away. The informant later pointed out the individual to the officers. The suspect was kept under observation as he walked through the car park and was seen removing an object resembling a firearm from his waistband and placing it into a grassy area. Police assistance was requested and the suspect was subsequently arrested. A search of the area led to the discovery of a Beretta pistol, model and serial number unknown, along with a magazine containing 7 rounds of a 9mm ammunition. Crime scene investigators processed the scene while officers from the divisional CID also visited. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. Very, very unfortunate news there. We want to thank you so much again for joining us here on Sunrise this morning. As we do continue conversations, of course, we do have a very interesting conversation lined up for you with Senator Melanie Roberts Rajman as we further discuss Sunday's protest. Yeah, we would have seen protests outside the parliament on Sunday with individuals protesting the death of the perceived extrajudicial killing of Mr. Joshua Seeley and the further injuring of his common law wife Kaya Seeley, but also the failure of the Zoso bill. What we're looking at moving forward, remarks by the Law Association, and so much more. Before we go to how, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to be right back with those conversations right here on Sunrise. I want to thank you again so much for joining us. In the meantime, do me a favor, enjoy the aerial view that the technical team is working on, and share the live, share the live, share the live.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood. or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Viewers, welcome back to Sunrise here on Tobago Updates Television. Thank you so much for joining us. As promised, we continue conversation this morning surrounding the failure of the zones of special operations. But even into the protest action we saw Sunday this morning, we are having conversations with a senator, that's Opposition Senator Melanie Roberts Rajman. Senator, good morning and thank you so much for joining us here on Sunrise.
Hi, good morning, Lavian. Hi, good morning to the Tobago Updates team and to all of Tobago.
All right, great. So, Senator, I want to start off strongly because it was said recently, a High Court Judge, Justice Frank C. Prasad, he said citizens should go ahead and use their phones, their CCTV cameras, whatever it is, and record police officers in the execution of their duties. But this follows Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander saying that there needs to be a law to forbid such action. Your thoughts on that?
I think that is a very slippery slope, Lavian. Just the thought that the Minister of Homeland Security could propose such a thing to take away any remnant of transparency, any remnant of accountability with regards to the conduct and the performance of the duties of the police service. It's just absurd. It's very concerning. And I quite agree with Justice Prasad where he said, public trust in the police service is probably below 10%. We see so many things happening. We don't get the full picture. We don't get the true story. We have no idea what has really happened. We have a lot of questions around police conduct. And I hasten to say that there's a lot of officers out there who do things well and do things the right way. But for the most part, we have so many issues coming up. I think you would recall last year, just in Tobago here, in April and May, we would have had 2 police fatal shootings involving one, a pensioner, and then a young man. And luckily enough, if you want to call it that, for one of those incidents, we actually had the footage showing what had transpired. In the absence of that footage, we would not have been able to get a proper account from the police service. And we do know that today those officers continue to remain in active duty. The investigation has not been going anywhere. I would have asked several questions in Parliament about the police Complaints Authority investigations into those matters, and they have been progressing at snail pace. You would have heard even here in Trinidad with the situation that would have happened, the police commissioner would have said, he supports his officers and, I think they've now moved to desk duty as opposed to active duty, but still there has been no move or any indication of any intention to take any sort of disciplinary action. So we know that we're probably not even going to get any real investigation into what happened with Joshua Samaru last week or week before. And we know that even if there's an investigation, it's going to move very slowly. And I have to say, thank God that there actually was the camera footage coming in, because we probably would have gotten quite a different story if we did not have that CCTV camera footage coming in. So I quite agree with Justice Prasad where he says, use your phones, use whatever the recording implement that you do have, and make sure that you get your record of the police activity taking place around you. It's the only thing we have right now. Actually, I have filed a question to the government, asking if we can expect in the Senate to see legislation coming restricting or prohibiting the use of CCTV footage where police activity is concerned. I hope to God that that is not where the country goes.
And Senator, also taking into consideration that you are an attorney at law, and we saw that the Law Association would have sent out a statement. But then following that statement, we had the Minister for Public Utilities and in the office of the Prime Minister, Barry Paderat. He accused the Law Association of a blatant bias, and that was his words, blatant bias. He said while the People's National Movement was in power, the association was quiet, but now they have so much to say regarding this. What are your thoughts on the Minister for Vancouver South accusing the Law Association of being biased?
Lavian, it seems that the government and the minister in particular and his leader has taken the direction of trying to silence every single association, every single member of civil society, every single autonomous, semi-autonomous or independent body that critiques, criticizes or otherwise advances caution about government activities. And he's actually incorrect, because if you go back through the records, you would see that every single time any sort of major action is taken that impacts the country, anytime any sort of legislation is proposed, the Law Association always issues statements or issue papers or recommendations on these legislation. It happened every single time the People's National Movement proposed legislation over the past 9 years. It has happened now that the UNC-led central government has been proposing legislation. This is just what the Law Association does. They look at the legality, they look at the mechanics, they look at how it interacts with the Constitution, they look at what it means for our rights and freedoms as citizens and how it actually can work in reality. They look at the prospects of judicial review and of the proposed law being struck down, and then they usually issue guidance. I think the difference is that in previous administrations, you would have seen where the government takes into account recommendations made by the Law Association and would either amend proposed legislation or go back to the drawing board where proposed legislation is concerned. But we're seeing that the Law Association, since this new administration has come into office, we have seen where the Law Association in particular has been under continuous attack by head of government, somebody who is an attorney herself and a member of the Law Association. Is quite unfortunate. It is quite scary to know that we would have a government who continuously attacks the Law Association, who has a role to play in ensuring that whatever legislation we're passing, whatever parliamentary action has been taken, actually complies with the law, adheres with the law, with the Constitution, and augurs in our best interests.
Yeah, and of course the Law Association was making reference to the independent senators appointed by the president herself, and the Prime Minister, of course, making those scathing accusations of bribery. My first question to you is, do you stand with the Prime Minister with she's not going to name, or are you standing on the side of he who accuses must prove?
Yes, of course. She has a duty. She literally has a duty to name those independent senators. It is a criminal offense for her to not name those independent senators. It is an offense for her to not also report the senator from the government side to whom she alleges that the solicitations were made. The thing is, no such solicitations were made. I stand by that. I say that without reservations. The independent senators, and I saw even our past President Paula May Weeks would have also put out a statement sort of outlining in layman's terms how the independent senators are selected and what their role is. The independent senators, they represent some of the greatest minds in this country. Since I have sat in the Senate since May, I think this is the first time that the independent senators have actually voted against legislation that has been brought by the government. They have at all times been quite knowledgeable. They have been quite helpful. They have proposed amendments to different pieces of legislation. They have issued cautions where cautions need to be issued. This is the first time, and for good reason, that they have actually almost completely voted against any piece of legislation brought by this government. So I think it's quite absurd for such an accusation. And I don't even know if the Prime Minister understands the implications of the allegations she's brought against those senators. It's quite unfortunate that she has made such a wild an unfounded accusation, and she needs to name them. And I strongly believe if the allegations were true, and if any of the independent senators had in fact solicited favors from any of her government senators, she would have named them. I think the fact that she hasn't named them is because there's no one to name.
From her remarks on the president herself, and then remarks on the independent senators calling them bootlickers prior to their voting, and then thereafter the accusations. My question to you here is, what do you think is the Prime Minister and even her cabinet, because Minister Barry Podarat, he has quite a lot to say as well. What do you think is this sitting government, this sitting administration's long-term goal here, where public trust and even the view of the public toward the sitting parliamentarians? What do you think is their long-term goal here? Exactly what are they trying to achieve with this type of communication?
I think it's governance by force. I think it's governance by bullying. I think the expectation the Prime Minister had was that by making those statements before debate even commenced in the Senate, I think her expectation was that the independent senators would have tucked their tails between their legs and that they would have complied to avoid further accusations or to avoid being labeled as being partisan. I think that was her intention. We have seen it consistently where the government and members within her cabinet, they have been making very wild, vile, and almost bullying type statements against different persons, different actors within the public space, within the parliamentary space. They've been making these accusations. They've been making very wild statements. They've been almost threatening anyone who they think might oppose them or might hold a different viewpoint from them. So I think it's governance by bullying. It's a tactic that they're using. It seems like they're taking a page out of a certain other world leaders' playbook. But of course, Trinidad and Tobago tends to be a very different society. It's not something that people tend to roll over and take lightly.
Right. And as we wrap, Senator, I have to ask, the United National Congress would have campaigned heavily on the reduction of crime. And so we want to believe that being 10 years in opposition, a crime plan probably would have been formulated. You would have, because you campaign to win an election. You never campaign to lose an election. So you campaign to win this election. You have plans of getting into office. So I'm thinking that there should be a plan on the books. Now we have the Prime Minister saying, listen, gang leaders, if you don't get it together, I might reimpose a new state of emergency. But we would have had Gary Griffith saying a state of emergency is not a crime plan. So is it that the United National Congress doesn't have a crime plan, or is it that this is that state of emergency and many state of emergencies is their crime plan? What are your thoughts on that?
Lavi, I think that's precisely it. As I said, it's governance by bullying. So the idea is to call state of emergency after state of emergency after state of emergency. And I guess with ZOSO, the goal was to have state of emergency type powers in certain targeted communities. So I think there's no crime plan. As you said, the campaign to get into office, unfortunately, that has been the UNC's style of operation. They campaign to get into office, but not necessarily thinking about the governance aspect of it. The game plan is just to get there. Of course, governance is hard work. Governance is a whole different ball game. And I think that they don't necessarily have anything in place. We've seen where they've taken very deliberate steps, even in terms of the social programs that would have sort of curbed crime in certain areas. So when you start cutting CPEP, sending home URP workers, HDC workers, forestry workers, when you start taking steps like that, you're cutting funding for PAN, you're cutting funding for social programs, you're contributing to the problem rather than even helping to target or alleviate the problems. I think there's no plan in place. The idea is just to impose, just to bully people as much as possible. We have seen where even the state of emergency that just ended on January 31st, we've seen where even that has not been as effective as it should have been, or it could have been, at least towards the end of the state of emergency. We've seen the figures for January coming in, and they were atrocious, and that was while we were under a state of emergency. Eventually, these kind of emergency style powers, they tend to lose their deterrent effect once you impose them for too long of a time, right? They're supposed to be in extreme circumstances and people react. But once you're living under a state of emergency for quite some time, people get used to them, the effect lapses, and crime just sort of rebounds. And that's what we have seen happening. So I think there's no plan. It's just wing it, try to bully, I guess, the public through, and of course, brute force and unchecked police and military action. I think that's the plan coming out of the government.
Senator, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Sunrise. It's always so intriguing and insightful to have conversations with you. But even as you ended there on the social aspect of it, it was quite interesting to hear Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander say that because the ZOSO bill has failed, citizens in these hotspot areas are also now missing out on the social benefits of that bill. So, I mean, it's quite curious. Is it that we don't have a social development program? If without ZOSO we don't have social development, I'm not certain, but you know what, I'm pretty sure we're going to have you back here as we dive into that conversation a lot more. Again, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. Wishing you a wonderful day.
All right, thank you, Lavi. Have a good one. Already checked it off. All
right, viewers. So we were speaking to Senator Melanie Roberts Rajman this morning on quite a few things, from the failure of the ZOSO bill to these given accusations against the sitting independents, to the Law Association, to statements, and Minister Barry Padarat calling it blatant bias. So much happening politically within Trinidad and Tobago. I want to thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates Television and choosing Sunrise to wake you up this morning as we continue having really good conversations. Tomorrow we have Dr. Denise Sawyer-Fat Angus as we continue conversations along that line and get her perspective. But you know, when the programming here on Sunrise is over, that's not it. We head on over to the morning show with the very lovely Renessa and of course my very handsome friend Akin Labi Holder, as they are going to take you through the rest of the morning. And then we have Chanel Felix joining us for Good Morning Tobago. And I wish you a lovely day, and thank you again for joining me. And guess what? I'll see you tomorrow.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
You come in. Long time I see you, Jill. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Stephen to see about them. Yes, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Tobago Update Morning Show. It is Tuesday, the 3rd of February 2026. I'm your host, Akin Larry Holder. I hope that you guys are up and you're ready to go. You've been listening to Sunrise Tobago, and now you're on Tobago Updates morning show, taking in all of our morning program as we discuss the matters that are very important to you and all of us here in Tobago. I'm joined in the studio by the lovely, and for the third time, very lovely, Renessa Ortiz. Good morning, Renessa.
Good morning, Akinlabi. Good morning to our viewers here on Tobago Updates Television. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have so much in store for you this morning, and we want you to stay tuned as we get into all the conversations that we have in store.
Yes, viewers, it's a very exciting time. But before we get into any of those conversations that we have this morning for you, we head on over to our news in 90 seconds.
And here's what's making news in 90 seconds for February 3rd, 2026. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine has confirmed that both the Blue Wave Harmony and TNT Spirit ferries were damaged in incidents at Scarborough Port, causing major sea bridge disruptions and weekend delays. In a video posted to social media while on board the ferry service, Augustine acknowledged public frustration and said NIDCO teams were working continuously to assess damage and restore reliable service. The disruptions have also affected plans to host the medium pan finals in Tobago, with ongoing discussions involving Pan Trinbago, NIDCO, and the Port Authority. Augustine said the THA is collaborating with the Ministry of Works and Transport to speed up repairs and pledged transparency until full operations resume. Tobago's 2025-2026 cruise season continues with 8 cruise calls scheduled for February 2026, including 2 maiden visits by MS Artenia and Brilliance of the Seas. In a media release from the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries last evening, confirmation of the arrival of the Brilliance of the Seas on Ash Wednesday, while Star Clipper will make 2 overnight calls at Charlottesville Port on February 8th and 19th. The February arrivals are expected to bring over 11,000 passengers, creating economic opportunities for local tour operators, transport providers, artisans, vendors, and small businesses. Officials say they look forward to welcoming visitors and showcasing Tobago's culture and natural beauty, noting that schedules may change. High Court Judge Justice Frank C. Prasad has urged that all police-citizen encounters in Trinidad and Tobago be recorded using CCTV, cell phones, and body-worn cameras, stressing that accountability courts must not be feared. His comments came after the High Court ruled that Defence Force Corporal Elton King was wrongfully arrested and maliciously prosecuted, awarding him $100,000 in damages. The judge sharply criticized police conduct, leadership, and resistance to scrutiny, noting that public trust in the TTPS has fallen below 10%. He rejected claims that recording police is an assault and said such recordings protect both citizens and officers. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you very much, Vanessa, for that news in 90 seconds. And we see the issue with the Inter-Island Bridge, the Sea Bridge. We're going to Taiwan again, and we're going to have some conversations concerning that this morning. So viewers, we urge you to stay tuned to Tobago Updates concerning that matter. All right, viewers, it's time to celebrate with those who are celebrating today. It is time for our birthday shout-outs. Yes, on Tobago Updates, we like to celebrate. Whatever you're celebrating, we want to celebrate with you. And we kick things off by saying happy birthday to Miss Latoya Thomas. Happy birthday to you, Miss Thomas. God's richest blessings to you. Today's a special day. Yes, look how you dressed up nice today. And I know you're dressed up nice in the picture, I should say. And I know you're going to be dressing nice today in full regalia today. You're going to celebrate with your friends and your family and loved ones. We pray that you stay safe, that you take some time off to reflect on God's goodness in your life, and you keep Him in everything you do moving forward.
Up next, we have Jason Bruce. Happy birthday from the Tobago Updates family. We hope you have a splendid day, that it is spent with your loved ones, that you enjoy it to the fullest, and that this year brings all the joy and love and prosperity that you desire.
Yes, family, and whatever you are celebrating, we want to celebrate with you, whether it's your birthday, anniversary, graduation, whatever you're celebrating, we here at Tobago Updates want to celebrate with you. So send us your information, and Tobago, Trinidad, the region, and the whole world will celebrate. Vanessa, what do we have in the show this morning?
This morning we are joined virtually by Minister Julian John, the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. We're going to be speaking about fixing TNT's inter-island woes, and that's going to be a two-part segment. And after that, we're going to have Carly George and Kenyon Joseph. They're here to talk about TFA Cup Finals 1976 FC Phoenix versus the FC Eagles.
All right. So we have some very interesting conversations. Viewers, I want to thank you for logging in with us, whether it's on Facebook Live or YouTube channel 102 on AMPLIA, 121 or 130 on Flow, or 33 on digital, whether you're in Tobago, Trinidad, the region, or the wider world. We want to thank you for logging on and making Tobago Updates Tobago's #1 television station. But we ask you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Tobago, it's Carnival. The Vibe, the event space formerly known as Shade, for the court Tobago, says, let's celebrate Carnival. Bring your coolers every Friday and Saturday, starting from Friday the 30th of January till Carnival week, and pay $50 at the door with your cooler all night. No ice, no chaser allowed. Top DJ and artists passing through every Friday and Saturday. To pre-book your cabanas, call 369-6414 and 394-3612 or email iwamg@gmail.com. And this promotion is going on until Easter. Gates open at 9 p.m. It's rum, it's bacchanal. Bring your coolers and come.
Been down this road before. All that left is rum and bacchanal. This is carnival.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning program. And we have on the line with us right now Minister of Works and Infrastructure within the central government, the Honorable Julian John, and she's going to talk to us about the issues concerning the sea bridge between Tobago and Trinidad. Good morning and welcome, Minister.
Morning, sir. Morning. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem, Minister. So, Minister, tell us, What exactly occurred that caused this damage to the MV Blue Wave Harmony?
Well, the Blue Wave Harmony was on its sea trials. Remember, that boat is now entering the sea bridge, and it got to Tobago safely with the first sailing. The sea trial, it got there without any load, as we'll see. The second one, there was some trucks and so on, no passengers, just because you're testing the boat at various permutations. And then it got to Tobago, and based on the currents, the wind gusts and so on, during this time in Tobago, you have that kind of cross current and heavy waves. And because it's a new captain, he's very experienced, but new, also accompanied by what we call a maritime pilot, who is familiar with the waters, well trained. And the boat was pushed against the berth in the port of Scarborough, and there was some damage to the hull.
Thank you, Minister. Now, we've seen that the central government has continuously collaborated with the new THA administration, and I just want to know, going forward, what are the plans for contingencies in place in the event that something like this happens again within the next 4 years?
Well, the coordination is not superficial. As a matter of fact, when the incident occurred, the CEO of the port, Ms. Marcia Elborn, called me, I think, just after 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I'm talking about public. I'm a public servant, she's a public servant. She called me at that time, I answered my phone. She told me what had happened. I immediately called the chief secretary and also answered his phone. And it basically was, okay, what are we going to do to mitigate? Although the Blue Wave was not yet in service, it was anticipated within the next couple of days, it would have been. And this boat has extraordinary capacity, because I had been to Tobago in July of last year, to indicate that the Cabo Star was leaving, and to take what I said I will explain or describe as the instruction of the stakeholders, meaning hauliers, hoteliers, etc., truck drivers, what it is that you will like on this new vessel entering the sea bridge. And they said we needed a faster vessel. We needed more capacity. We needed to be able to, we need cabins, because the Cabo Star only had cabins for the crew. And we needed more capacity for refrigerated cargo to go up. And all of those items or attributes were realized on the Blue Wave Harmony. So I was really very disappointed when that had happened, because in addition to which, we had the steel pans already loaded to bring down, although we were not bringing any passengers. Since November, I had been in discussions with the port with respect to, okay, what are the issues that could arrive? And one that was flagged very early, we have Carnival, the steel bands will be coming down, we don't know how many, etc., etc. So right away, I said, all right, we get ahead of this. We need a press release, and you will have noticed on the dot of 6 a.m., there was a press release explaining to the people of Trinidad and Tobago what would have occurred and the implication. In addition, I asked the CEO to get in touch with Mrs. Beverly Ramsey Moore by 6 a.m. So that was collaboration that was very intense. These are, as I said, we are all public servants, but it was our duty. This is not superficial. This is how we roll. You would have seen yesterday the chief secretary himself. He came up on, I think, the APT James from Trinidad to Tobago, and he did a Facebook post which was very instructive. And every moment, I mean, from this morning, I've been in touch with the CEO of the port, with the chairman of the port, and this collaboration is ongoing. Particularly at this time, it's very heightened, right? Trying to mitigate any hardships to the people of Tobago and, of course, Trinidad.
Now, Minister, I just want to go back to the incident, and I want to get some clarity. During this incident, was there any liability on the part of the government of Trinidad and Tobago or the maritime pilot? Who would be responsible for the repairs, and what are the timelines for those repairs to take place?
Okay, so these boats are guided by international conventions. This is not the little sailboat my grandfather used to go out and fishing in Charlottesville. You know, these boats carry a lot of passengers. In this case, this one has to carry about 200 passengers in addition to about 125 trucks, etc. So they are guided by international conventions, rules, oversight, etc. So what they told me is the international engineer, quote unquote, is here. The surveyors are here, because as soon as the incident occurred and we realized, okay, there was damage to the hull of the Blue Wave, Then you had damage to the bridge in the port of Scarborough. We mobilized experienced and certified welders from Trinidad to get to Tobago. So they were there on the ground Friday itself. So that was literally immediate. We sent up materials to effect the repairs on Friday. However, we had to wait for the international assessors to get here, the insurance companies, because as you will recognize, there will be insurance as a part of everything that has to happen. And of course, this is also guided by these international bodies in terms of they have to review the people who are going there to effect the works in terms of their certification. They have to review what they are saying, the work that needs to be done, and then it has to be supervised by these international agents. And all of that has been happening in Tobago. So yesterday, the boat was released, not by word of mouth, by a document that said, okay, this boat is released to sail to Trinidad. So it comes to Trinidad. I told them, listen, don't bring it in the night, come in the day. So it probably has left already. The CEO has not told me whether it has left us yet, to come to Trinidad, and some more works will be effected at the dry docking space in Chaguaramas. So we are, fingers crossed, expecting the Blue Wave to be back in service by within the next 3 to 4 days. We are hoping by Saturday of this week.
Now, for Tobago, we rely heavily on the inter-island transportation system, whether it be by ferry or by plane. But in this particular instance, we're talking about the ferry. And we use it for business, we use it for medical emergencies, we use it even for regional, we use it for tourism here locally as well. So we want to know, going forward, what steps are the ministry taking to prevent these things happening in the future? Are there going to be more contingencies in place? I know we are already on the ground collaborating and ensuring that we do what we need to get the boat back up and running. But what are we going to do going forward in the future?
Allow me to reintroduce myself. Now, my name is Jillian John from Charlottesville, Tobago. I'm not only from Tobago, I'm from rural Tobago. That too makes, that has a other kind of implication, right? The chief secretary also from rural Tobago Speyside, the other village. The people in rural areas feel these things even more so than others, I can tell you. All right. So I'm not an absentee landlord. I'm somebody who's very vested and invested in this issue. I told you they called me at 2 or something, 3 o'clock. I don't know who does answer their phone at that time, but I do. Right. So with respect to whether the boat is the boat of economy, the boat of hope, the boat of everything else, medical supplies and so on, I am very, very, very acutely aware of all of these things. It's the reason I speak to the CEO and the chairman of the port and NITCO people. I mean, maybe every half an hour, if they don't contact me with respect to, okay, where are we with whatever. When the Spirit had the incident on Sunday, I was in my home. But a reporter called me and I could have told her immediately, okay, fine, yes, the boat is in the port of Scarborough. It has had some issues because the engine sucked up some piece of wood and fishnet and so on. But these are, at the end of the day, these are machines. And things will happen, things that we don't want to happen will happen. You want a sea bridge that is seamless, that is efficient, that is there with excess capacity, with redundancy, that everybody who want to travel, want to set up a truck, cement, oxygen, whatever, that they can do so. You know, as a matter of fact, since I've been at this ministry, I have insisted that you don't only put out a press release, you have a live human being there 24 hours, particularly in times like this where the thing is touch and go, and basically the demand exceed the supply. I'm talking about the demand for seats, the demand for service exceed the supply. So we are really managing this. And as I said, what happened really is something you couldn't predict, because the Spirit also, with a capacity of to carry 900 passengers and 200 vehicles, for that to have sucked in some wood and what have you, that was extremely unfortunate, but it's not something you could have predicted. We have the Buko Reef that is on dry dock. We're expecting that to come back. So when you do your operation kind of grid, as it is, your template, you do it, and of course you do it with assumptions that whatever could go wrong will go wrong. Good. And sometimes the whole system will threaten to collapse. But what you do, you intercede and interject and do just what we are doing. Manage the thing moment by moment, right? People call me and I respond. I call the CEO, I call the chairman, and I get on something, I have to get on bad. And it's not their fault, but just out of the frustration, you have to really say things that maybe are unfortunate. Okay, so with all of these vessels, they are sufficient when they are all working well. All right. As I said, of course you probably one will have to probably look to ensure that the vessels are not getting to outside a useful life. But then again, these are not vessels that accredited in Trinidad and Tobago. They are accredited by international bodies. So anytime you see a boat out there, passenger carrying, there's a responsibility. All right, right? We can't be negligent with that. They are all accredited by their class, and they would have made that and supersede what the requirements are. So we are expecting the Buku Reef to return to service by next week. It should get back. The what you call it, the Blue Wave should be out by the end of this week. We will look at that again, hopefully. So once they're all back on service by Saturday into next week, we should be okay. But we are going to use the time, as we have been doing, to say, is it that we need to divest ourselves of one of these boats and bring something with even more capacity based on demand and having to service demand efficiently and to have redundancy. So all of these things are really occupying us, not only now, but even prior to now, this time.
Minister, I just want to move forward a bit and talk a bit more about your ministry's work in Tobago and the plans and the plans and objectives and future projects, initiatives, whatever you may have for Tobago, and what that collaboration is going to look like with the Tobago House of Assembly.
Okay, well, I was in Tobago again last week, I think, holding discussions with the Chief Secretary, looking at the revitalization plan they would have rolled out for Tobago, and it's very thoughtful and intentional. So basically, we are definitely going to partner with Tobago with these plans because, as you are probably aware or unaware, the revitalization for Trinidad was rolled out in November. For Tobago, was rolled out in January. So Trinidad is about 2 months ahead or so, but it was a very busy 2 months. I say this to give you the context. The expression of interest phase in Trinidad ends on Friday of this week. That's very significant. On Sunday, I'll be hosting a press conference to account to the people of Trinidad and Tobago in terms of what would have transpired in that expression of interest. I expect it to be oversubscribed, or at least the projects to be taken up. It means the same will happen for beautiful Tobago. Tobago is extremely beautiful and viable, but it's how you package it. Good, the Chief Secretary and his administration, they are people of vision. So I expect a lot will be coming to Tobago. But because the administration is fairly new, these discussions will take place, the meaningful discussion in terms of how are you going to partner with the road, with the port, with the marinas, and whatever else. That will be something maybe within the next 2 weeks. I will come back to Tobago, or Chief Secretary and his team will come down here. In any case, there is the intention to ensure at least every 2 weeks, but certainly every month, a team that meet with we meet with each other to just see where we are going and how things are going forward. So these are not talk shop. When you come from Charleville, you're very operational. We don't engage in talk.
You've represented Trinidad and Tobago in a lot of international discussions. And we just want to know, moving forward in terms of strengthening the sea bridge, are there any best practices that you have observed from some of these countries that you would like to implement here to assure the public that moving forward, we know for a fact our sea bridge would be strengthened?
Listen, don't underestimate your people in Trinidad and Tobago. I said, what you do, I'm not an expert here, so maybe my language is one of a non-expert, but certainly when you put a boat on the sea to transport passengers and cargo, it must subscribe to various not only codes, but there are various credentials that you must subscribe to, and Trinidad and Tobago is in compliance with all of these codes, accreditations, etc. Right? All these safety guidelines, we are in total compliance. Right? We are very rigid about it. Good. So whatever the boat has, they call it to be in class, we are in class. Every single one of your boats. What concerns me sometimes is it's the customer service, and they will tell you that with respect to how they interact with people, and then the product that is presented. Number one, when you want a ticket, God only you must be able to get a ticket to go to Tobago when you want to go to Tobago. That's one. But not only that, the quality of the infrastructure, the boats, the toilets, if you have a restaurant, how it's kept and maintained for the people, your customers. That is very critical. And there's where I felt they were not only slipping, they were falling down. And they will tell you that I was very upset about it. And we keep talking about how are we going to set the protocols in place. Because when I visited the Blue Wave Harmony, it was in impeccable condition in terms of cleanliness, the cabins, the restaurant, the kitchens, and so on. Impeccable. It's not a new boat, but it is in impeccable condition. So I instructed that I must get their protocol with respect their critical part, with respect their oversight and the oversight and the audits that will be done. Because I've looked at the water taxis, I've been on the galleon and expressed my extreme dissatisfaction with the way these boats are kept. So NITCO knows, the Port Authority knows, and they are doing something about it.
All right, Minister, we want to thank you for talking with us so far. We have to go for a short break, and when we come back, Minister, we'll continue conversations concerning your ministry, the work on the Inter-Island Sea Bridge, and works in Tobago. So, viewers, we have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we continue conversations with Minister Jolene John. So, do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So, even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Tobago, it's Carnival. The Vibe, the event space formerly known as Shade, for the court Tobago, says, let's celebrate Carnival. Bring your coolers every Friday and Saturday, starting from Friday the 30th of January till Carnival week, and pay $50 at the door with your cooler all night. No ice, no chaser allowed. Top DJ and artists passing through every Friday and Saturday. To pre-book your cabanas, call 369-6414 and 394-3612 or email iwamg@gmail.com. And this promotion is going on until Easter. Gates open at 9 p.m. It's rum, it's bacchanal. Bring your coolers and come.
Been down this road before. All that left is rum and bacchanal. This is carnival.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Tobago, the sun is rising, and so are the conversations that matter, from the economy to education, from healthcare to community voices. No spin, no fluff, just facts, truth, and clarity. Join me, Lavian, as we cover the issues that shape our lives, the stories we can't ignore. We bring them to the table and ask the questions you want answered.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, welcome back as we continue conversations with Minister of Works and Infrastructure, the Honorable Jolene John. We want to just delve back into some of the issues affecting Tobago. Minister, we want to just talk a bit about some more infrastructure projects that are long-standing for Tobago in terms of the establishment of a commercial port for Tobago. Is that one of those projects that might be in the pipeline for your ministry?
Well, I've seen that was front and center with respect to the what the THA has put forward. And I can tell you internationally, there is an appetite for ports. To the Tobago, a port, a good port, an expanded port, an updated port in Tobago can only benefit the Tobago and Trinidad economy based on where these boats pass, getting into Tobago for dry docking, refueling, repairs, because that is part of what we intend to do in Trinidad. And based on the interest, there's quite a lot of interest. I'm not sure as yet in terms of who would have responded, but certainly there is a sort of excitement on the ground. That will be front and center. There is no we are very clear that it is side by side we stand. All right, there's no one in front of the other. We're very clear about that. So with respect to when I go, as your colleague would have referenced, to international audiences, and of course, you're a very competent group of professionals in Tobago also. When they too visit, I'm sure they go to present. They are going to present Tobago's position clearly, with clarity, and I have no doubt that Tobago will be successful in terms of attracting these investments.
As we continue, I just want some clarity because I'm not sure if this responsibility will fall under yourself or the Ministry of Civil Aviation, but concerning the new at A&R Robinson International Airport Terminal, it was carded for reopening, I believe it was the end of this first quarter, or maybe it was pushed back to the second quarter of this year. But does the airport fall under your remit? And if it does, can you give us an update on timelines for the opening?
Okay, well, by the way, we're still in the first quarter of the year, so basically, I don't think we are outside of it if that was what one was aiming for. How the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure is involved is we are the project managers through NITCO, but the airport, when it's operational, falls under the Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation, right? So we are working in collaboration. I think they were paving the runway the last time I checked on it, and certainly by the end of the month, because I've not been into the airport as yet, but NITCO, I know, the chairman of NITCO is currently in Tobago. He was there yesterday, he's there today. And one was to treat to the Blue Wave Harmony issue, and two, it was the airport. So I'll have a full report from him when he returns to Trinidad later today, and we can then project when the handover will be. By the way, the Blue Wave has just left Tobago, so that is good news, meaning
Yes.
It's coming down for the repair to be completed.
All right, Minister, in terms of any other major road projects to work with Tobago, do you all have anything in line for any other major road projects on the island?
Yes, I mean, as you know, there are a lot of plans and there's a lot of interest in connectivity and road upgrades. But as I said, this administration has now come in. Yes, it's their second term, but it's a new administration. So I was there last week. I am coming back within 2 weeks to sit down to talk about these things. And I think then we will make there'll be full disclosure to the media and the people of Tobago with respect to, because I'll be guided. I will know I'm doing in Trinidad. But I have to be guided by the Tobago House of Assembly.
Now, Minister Jolene John, we want to thank you so much for joining us here at Tobago Updates this morning to give an update on the Blue Wave Harmony and also future projects here for the island of Tobago. We want to thank you so much for tuning in and sharing with the public.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you to Tobago. You know, my navel swing is buried there in Charlotte. Don't worry.
All right, Minister, you have a good day. Viewers, we have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we continue conversations. We're talking about football on the island, FA Cup finals. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or a multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and we have for your live traffic report, and we are reporting here from the Wilson Road traffic light. As you can see, traffic is moving quite smoothly between east to west and west to east along the Claude Noel Highway. We can see, the traffic is really piling up on the Plymouth Road. They're going all the way back up to Course Cutters, that Glen Road junction. And we're coming out of Scarborough. You can see the traffic is piling up again. As we get closer to that 8 o'clock hour, between 8 and 9 a.m., traffic tends to get a bit dicey. So you all get out there, get out. If you're not out already, I know you're now coming out the house. You're about to lock the door, put the children in the car and head out. Get out onto the highway as soon as possible to avoid that gridlock traffic. And that was your traffic report. So viewers, we have in studio a man that is very well known in Tobago, Mr. Everton Alfred, who is the president of the Tobago Football Association, and he's here to talk about the TFA FA Cup finals that is scheduled to take place very soon. Is it today? Or is it
no,
today?
It's on Wednesday.
It's on Wednesday. That is scheduled to take place tomorrow. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning to you, and nice to be on your show.
All right, so tell us, TFA FA Cup finals, what could the public expect from this?
An exciting game. First off, let me say thanks for having me. We have two teams that will be fighting for the title of FA Cup champions for the first time. So that's really exciting. And what is even more interesting for me and for football fans, there are two teams that are very forward playing, very aggressive, like to play forward. So therefore fans could be in for an interesting game. Hopefully lots of goals, so that we can all have fun and celebrate. And of course, may the best man win at the end of the game.
So this finals is taking place between
Signal Hill United and of course Golden Lane FC.
Signal Hill United and Golden Lane FC. Now I don't know if in your format for the FA Cup finals, if you'll have a third place playoff or...
No, we don't have a third place playoff, but we would be having a double header. So to go along with that game, we have a Tier 1 game involving 1976 FC Phoenix out of Canaan Bonaccord, and they will be coming up against FC Eagles. That game kicks off at 5 o'clock. So therefore, we will have some time between the games, and that time we have some time for our fans because they are also important to us. So I could also let you know that there will be some wonderful little fun competitions for our fans so that they can win something as well on the night.
So in terms of for the duration of this tournament, what has the pedigree of the football been like leading right up to the finals?
All right, knockout football is always different to league football, and I could explain that to you. These two teams that are in the finals are incidentally fifth in their various divisions of play. But of course, because of their performance in the knockout phase, they were able to get to the finals. In this year, the theme was win or go home. And therefore, if you didn't win, you wouldn't be here. And these teams, of course, had almost similar pathways to the finals, both winning 2 games and drawing 2 games, having to win on penalty kicks. So therefore, it has been an interesting run for them. Very competitive. Fans, both at the stadium and Corland, where we played, along with Mongrace, were always held interesting in what is taking place on the field, and I expect it to be no different come tomorrow night.
Okay, so for persons who want to attend, what's the location, what time is the event starting, what does it cost to get in?
So the first game kicks off at 5 p.m., as I said before, at the Dwight York Stadium, Wednesday, and then the second game will kick off at 8 p.m. Of course, as I said as well, between the first and the second game, we will have some interesting activities. We have the kick for cash for men, and this year we're adding another component for women, so they too can win something between the two games, and the admission price is a measly $60.
And when you talk about kick for cash, how much cash we talking about here?
We're talking about $500 each.
$500. So
Cash.
I
You
can
don't
come
get
and try
no checks.
something.
Yeah, you could. Of course, we welcome.
Right.
But you must have a ticket. You must have a ticket.
$60 for 500 for a chance at 500. That sounds like a steal of a deal.
Of course, of course. So we always cater for our spectators. They're interested to us as well. So therefore, we have that component in the affairs.
So tell us in terms of the work of the TFP. What do you all have in train even after this FA Cup?
Good question, and I'm happy for that question, because when the game finishes on Wednesday, immediately on Thursday, we have a number of our coaches. Hopefully will be successful in completing their coaching program. So therefore you understand the work goes on, not only in terms of playing games, but of course in terms of our development program. Then of course we continue with our league action in Tobago, and starting in February, our youth competitions will kick off as well. So we're going all year through now with football.
So what has the kind of the support been like from communities in terms of coming out and supporting their teams during these, not only the FA Cup, but also the league matches?
Very, very good. We're thankful for the fans who come out to watch the game. You have lots of fun at some of these games, having chats with spectators, getting their views in terms of what they see we can improve on, and in terms of the quality of play. So yes, the fans are very important, and they have been very interested.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Everton Alfred, for speaking with us. Viewers, we have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to some fellas who are representing both Signal Hill United and Golden Lane FC, and they will be talking about their chances in the finals come tomorrow. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. When we come back, we talk more football.
Tobago. It's Carnival. The Vibe. The event space formerly known as Shade. For the court Tobago. Says, let's celebrate Carnival. Bring your coolers every Friday and Saturday. Starting from Friday the 30th of January till Carnival week. And pay $50 at the door with your cooler all night. No ice, no chaser. Allowed. Top DJ and artists passing through. Every Friday and Saturday. To pre-book your cabanas, call 369-6414 and 394-3612. Or email iwamg@gmail.com. And this promotion is going on until Easter. Gates open at 9 p.m. It's rum. It's bacchanal. Bring your coolers and come.
Been down this road before. All that left is rum and bacchanal. This is Carnival.
Tobago, the sun is rising, and so are the conversations that matter, from the economy to education, from healthcare to community voices. No spin, no fluff, just facts, truth, and clarity. Join me, Lavian, as we cover the issues that shape our lives, the stories we can't ignore. We bring them to the table and ask the questions you want answered.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood. or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
All right, viewers, welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We continue conversations surrounding the TFA FA Cup Finals, and we have in studio with us Mr. Carly George of Signal Hill United and Mr. Kenyon Joseph of Golden Lane FC. They're both the coaches of their respective clubs, and they're here to talk about their team's chances of lifting the FA Cup come Wednesday night, tomorrow night, at the Dwight York Stadium in Bacolet. The action is heating up. Good morning and welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning, good morning.
So, gentlemen, when we're talking football and FA Cup finals and these kinds of things, we don't usually see Signal Hill United and Golden Lane FC. I see you're watching me in a kind of way. So tell me, am I wrong?
I'll say you're wrong.
You say
right?
Okay.
Because, let me say, 10 years ago, Signal Hill and Golden Lane was in the finals.
Right.
Signal Hill beat Golden Lane in the final 10 years ago, and we intend to do it again this year.
You want to repeat it again this year?
Come on. It's written. Wishful thinking.
So you think that Signal Hill has a very strong chance of walking away with the
Definitely. There's no question to ask.
And what gives you that level of confidence?
Give me a level of confidence. Come on, the guys we have, the quality in the team, the way we prepare ourselves and the way we carry ourselves, we're going to win this.
And what does Signal Hill do that stands them out differently from all other teams in Tobago?
Preparation, communication, the way how we communicate with one another, the way how we respect one another. It's a hell of a thing.
Now, Mr. Joseph, I see you over on the other side there. You're listening, you know, but you're doubting it. No, Golden Lane has, they're in the finals. They had a good run this season. Tell us what it has been like for Golden Lane throughout the duration of this tournament.
Well, Golden Lane is first of all, is a first division team. And as a first division team, the expectation of us meeting Finest FA was pretty low. So, from the onset, we had, the guys had the belief that they can do it this time around. I think 3 or 4 years ago, we were in the semi-finals of the said FA, where we lost to Speyside. But this year, the guys believe it's our year. And we're going out there to prove to Signal Hill that this year is our year. Yeah.
So, what would winning this trophy really mean for the community of Golden Lane?
Now, well, for the past 2 years, Golden Lane community has had a negative light in the national sphere. So this is going to be a real motivator, especially to the young men, who love football and they can actually be a part of something. So yeah, we expect the community to be out there in full support, we even have a rhythm section coming through.
Yeah, so I want to signal have a rhythm section, boy.
No, we don't, right? But we thank Golden Lane for bringing the rhythm section and bringing the vibes to the stadium on that said night.
All right, gentlemen. So before we wrap up, just each of you will just give one statement. Just one statement to encourage your fans to come out and support on the night.
Well, as I said, Golden Lane community, Lucky Tobago on a whole, listen, come to see, as we have been given the hashtag Giant Slayers, and come tomorrow is gonna be the same. So come out and see the Giant Slayers in full swing as we go to capture our first FA competition.
Well, what about Signal Hill? The Golden Lane said they're the Giant Slayers, so you have to be the Giant.
Well, it's obviously Signal Hill is the Giant at this point in time, right? And this is going to be our third FA Cup trophy come tomorrow night.
Right? So in fact,
the first one was in 2016, then 2018, so it's been a while, so we intend to capture it this year.
All right. So Signal has been doing things, and Golden Lane is seeking the very first one. They've been the Giant Slayers for the season thus far. Viewers, make your way out to the Dwight York Stadium tomorrow. The action starts at 5 p.m. It's a double header. The action starts at 5 p.m. Only $60, and you could kick to win some cash. Kick to win a $500 cash prize. They have the male and the female competitions. So it's going to be a good time for the family to come out and enjoy themselves at the TFA FA Cup Finals. So make your way to Bacalet at the Dwight York Stadium tomorrow afternoon. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of the Tobago Updates morning show, but Tobago Updates programming continues. And before we leave you, we go on for our last traffic report. Yes, our last traffic report, and we are at Orange Hill Junction. Yes, we are at Orange Hill Junction, and you can see the traffic coming off of Orange Hill onto the Cornwall Highway, and now they're coming up from Scarborough area onto the Cornwall Highway and onto Orange Hill Road as well. You can see it's starting to back up. Traffic, they're backing up, going back to Montgomery side and going back to the Signal Hill Junction towards the hospital. So please make your way out. Try to get to work early so that you don't have to deal with that traffic. All right, viewers, the Tobago Updates programming continues. Up next, we have GMT. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. GMT is up next. All right, that's it.
According to Chief Secretary, the Honorable Farley Augustine, the portfolios of secretaries and assistant secretaries were formally assigned based on their experience, expertise, and the operational requirements of the divisions across the THA. In the process, several divisions were renamed and new ones were created to better reflect evolving responsibilities and administrative priorities.
The assignment of secretaries to divisions is not just a ceremonial exercise. It is a strategic act of stewardship. It is about placing the right people in the right spaces at the right time to deliver real results to real people on time.
The Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine assumed responsibility as a Chief Secretary after a vote in the House on January 15th. The office of the Chief Secretary was further strengthened with Assemblymember Megan Morrison appointed Secretary and Assemblymember Nigel Tate as Assistant Secretary. Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith Brebner as Secretary for Health and Wellness. Assemblymember Nathisha Charles Pantin assigned Public Infrastructure and Transportation, while Assemblymember Wayne Clark took responsibility for food security, including CPEP. Assemblymember Keegan Denoon was appointed Secretary for Youth Empowerment and Sport, and Assemblymember Zorisha Hackett assumed the leadership of Tourism, Antiquities, and Creative Industries, supported by Assistant Secretary, Assemblymember Nikita Percy. Environmental sustainability and climate resilience were placed under the stewardship of Assemblymember Darren Henry, while Assemblymember Trevor James as Secretary for Strategic Planning and Development. Housing, settlements, and public utilities were assigned to Assemblymember Ricky Joe Field, and Legal Affairs to Councillor Adana Joseph Wallace. Assemblymember Orlando Kerr was appointed Secretary for Education, Skills, and Innovation. Assemblymember Ian Pollard as Secretary for Community Development and Social Protection, supported by Assistant Secretary Councillor Akel Franklin. Councillor Petilan Roberts returns as Secretary for Finance, Trade and the Economy, assisted by Assemblymember Kern Alexis.
Being from the western side of Tobago, Crown Point to be exact, I think it's someplace fit to be and to go into tourism to function. I already have the basic knowledge about what the island need, what the island desire in that area. So being in this field, kind of excited to get the job done.
I serve at the request of the Chief Secretary, so whatever option that he would have placed me in, I was willing to serve. So there was no anticipation, but I'm happy to see that I would have left yes to now manage yes. The first thing I have to do is to meet with all the heads of department to see the challenges that they have. And from there we will work to implementing the plans and programs that we have. The policies will be guided by the strategic approach that we have as a party. And so when I get in there, we would know what are the priority areas currently.
It falls directly in line with what my life work has been, so I didn't see it as much as a surprise. I have a lot of vision in order to transform the division of settlements. You see, the responsibility of government is to reach to the people and assist the people. And I think with my expertise, I will do very well there.
I considered that the chief might put me in education because of my background, but I was not sure. I think one of the main things is to continue the work that I started, because Secretary Hackett would have started a lot of new policies within the division, and I certainly intend to continue those policies. But as the Chief Secretary said, we have always fallen short with special education. We have always fallen short with even our level of delivery within our district. So that these are some of the things that we need to hit the ground running. The Tobago-centric curriculum and all of those things must be a reality within the next 4 years.
With portfolios assigned and responsibilities clearly defined, the Assembly members are now positioned to carry out their various tasks.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Yeah. Tobago Updates. Good morning,
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. As you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. This morning, we jump straight ahead into our conversations, and we are chatting this morning with Mr. Ainsley King, who is the president of Tobago. But before we get into that conversation this morning, ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of topics that we are going to be discussing, and he will be joining us very soon virtually. Before we get into that this morning, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back after this. See you soon. And as promised, ladies and gentlemen, this morning we are chatting with the president of Tobago, Mr. Ainsley King. Now, if you haven't heard yet, the government of Trinidad and Tobago are having discussions and making moves towards imposing taxes on local artists during the carnival season. And so this morning we want to have that conversation with Mr. Ainsley King. Good morning and welcome.
Well, good morning to you. Good morning to Tobago. And I was the chairman of the Tobago zone. I'm now the president of Tuco, Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
Actually, yeah. And well, I spoke to Ria this morning because she only got me this morning. I could tell that you all did not have any connection for the morning. The conversation on that the taxes and so on. I believe that more discussions have to take place with that before I could actually have any such discussion on it, right? And the political atmosphere is a bit sensitive, so I'll prefer to not go into that. But nevertheless, a lot is happening where Calypso in Trinidad and Tobago is concerned. We are seeing a new light, So I mean, we could touch on that actually.
Yes, definitely.
Because Calypso at this time is really seeing some light, We know that for some years. Well, you seem to be a young person, so I think that you might have ideas, the mindset and how people looked at Calypso. But today, we could sing the song, a joyful and a powerful, positive song that Calypso is present, is very present, and the lines that were there are actually not there anymore because we are seeing a lot of interest where Calypso is concerned. We are also seeing a lot of participation, which says that the Tuco is now attracting, not Tuco, but Calypso is attracting a lot of younger people and that kind of thing. And we are actually seeing Calypso actually covering some grounds now that a couple of years back, one would not have expected to see Calypso back into the feds, to see the participation of some of the top soca acts actually coming and actually singing calypso, actually participating in the tent and all that kind of thing. So there's a beautiful story to tell where calypso is concerned, right? So I now open up any
Right.
question that you might be
And
interested in asking. You are free to.
right, and so there's the semifinals that's coming up very soon for the Calypso Monarch. Tell us a bit about that. We know that there are a number of Tobago artists that would be there as well. But tell us about the preparation for that. How is that different this year from previous years, and what can persons expect from the finals this year?
Well, where experience is concerned, because we the new executive that is headed by me. Since we started, we had challenges that we had to clear, and we have been doing well at that so far. The beginning, no, the ending, the middle, or the coming to the end of last year, we had rumors of war, the Venezuelan situation, and so on, and people had doubts about what whether or not they will have a carnival. Well, we as experienced as we are, and the team that I have, we have been doing well because we were able to take calypso in different parts of the United States and also across Canada, and would have been the first time that an organization was able to successfully venture into projects like that, to actually take calypso to the diaspora, both in Toronto and in America. We had the Apollo, right? The legendary Apollo. We were able to stage a calypso show there as an organization. We understood that we have a job to do, and our job is to promote calypso in Trinidad and Tobago, and as far as possible to the world. So even though we had the tensions and so on, we did what we had to do, and as a result of that, what we saw is that we were comfortable and well prepared, and so things are going very smooth. The tents selection process passed very smoothly. The tents have opened their doors, and calypso is actually present in the carnival for 2026. We have made changes last year because we had a new initiative where after we knew we needed to do something to actually create a difference. And then we know people look at calypso as a traditional art form. So we add a little innovation. So we actually bond them, where calypso, where tradition actually meet innovation. And so by doing that, we became all inclusive, and we were able to draft a new structure going forward, where we're now the Kaiso tent. It has chutney. Well, we had spoken word last year, and then we the doors are open for any new genre in Trinidad and Tobago to actually get a space into the calypso tent. And so far that have been working extremely well, and well, last night was the extempo. The major events have started. We had the judges which did the preliminaries to select Calypsonians for the semi-final at San Fernando this Saturday coming there. Well, that by itself is an institution, a very strong institution that has been there for decades.
Right.
But to me, this year, I anticipate this year to be one of the strongest years, because we have a nice mix the selection process. We have a nice mix, although there are lots of political tension with the political songs and so on. But we are keeping our eyes on producing a good show. But we have people like Young Brother, Squeezy Rankin, Freetown Collective, and these guys are popular guys across where the music industry in Trinidad is concerned. And we also have a lot of other popular people, and we are seeing a mixture with seniors and young people and so on. So it's going to be very, very interesting on Saturday. And well, the juniors also, they completed their claims and semis, right? And being on this station today as a Tobagonian representing in Trinidad, I must say that what we have seen this year is that the juniors they are topping, because I think in the finals they have a large amount. Yes, and people are talking about them. I mean, as a president, you know, I now see Trinidad and Tobago as my as my babies, in the fraternity. So I'm looking over everybody, but at the same time, you know, I keep hearing them speaking about how well Tobago is doing, and the results coming out from the prelims of the national, the seniors in Calypso for the national monarch. Tobago again. I'm hearing that from the ground how well they did, because I wasn't there to see how the show went down and so on. And Tobago is well being spoken about, and the top Nicole Thomas actually she topped the list in the prelims, you know, so she have the highest points, and Tobago have a few people up on top there. So I mean, you know, that's a positive coming out of Tobago, and I'm very happy to see that something is happening there, something positive, because both juniors and seniors are doing extremely well, you know. So
and even as we round up the discussion this morning, I hear you talk a bit about the political tensions. Is there the feeling within the industry that heightened political tensions are affecting the level of freedom that artists can express in putting forward their calypso this time around?
Wouldn't see that, because you see, I wouldn't say that, because us as managers of this art form, we cannot debar or stop people from singing their songs, right? But at the same time, you know, we cannot tell the politician how to react to it, right? But but there's no attempt or intention to have any political interference in Calypso to affect Calypso to that point where people are muzzled and that kind of thing. But what I could see is that people within their own space, their own mind and so on, they are creating narratives, you know, and most time, you know, they will blame the organization. But but what is ironic about the whole situation is that we have people who have songs that are against or anti the yellow, you know, and then we have songs that similar to red, you know, and you know, we seen that tension, which really is not making sense, but is something that is real, and you know, and as time play out, you know, we just have to allow whatever to play out. But from our point, our standpoint, we are here to just allow Calypso to be sung, you know.
Right. But
And
we
then, you know,
know that, you know, from history, Calypso has always been somewhat the voice of the people or the voice of the ground. When carnival season happens, that's when you really hear what are some of the conversations that are happening among people through the Calypso. And it's how persons have that level of political expression as well. So, you know, even though it may be for or against or somewhere in the middle, or, you know, finding that level of possible comedic relief of very serious social situations, we know that has been a place where Calypso has sat in our history for a long time. And is it that we are trying to move away from that, or are we trying to keep that level of authenticity within the craft?
It's not that we are moving away from it. You see, we have to be wise, because someone could create or structure any song, or you know, or any product. But you see, if it's bordering on defaming characters, or racism, and that sort of a thing, or social divide, then then concerns will arise, because what happens there is that we cannot have the art form being used negatively, right? And it should not be supported. But once a calypso is well crafted, I don't see anything with that, you know.
All right, excellent. And what do you think, what would you tell viewers that they can look forward to from paying attention to what's happening on Saturday and finally at the grand finals?
very high. And just as I see how Tobago, it seemed like there's a shift in quality, upward shift in quality, and an upward shift in the way people present themselves with the calypsos and so on. So I could tell people from my observation that we are actually approaching and are about to see one of the greatest calypso season to be recorded up to date. I expect a lot, and it seemed like Tobago is showing signs of breaking records and breaking barriers this year, both in the juniors and in the seniors, right? And at the same time, the standard of the calypso must be applauded by throughout the nation, actually, because the as I said, the standard of calypso is really high. And aside from that, I must say that judging from what is happening, calypso is now back into the fete, seen in the likes of Karen Ashe and Michael Teja and Freetown Collective and the radio stations here in Trinidad. Now, I mean, there was a time when people were clamoring and putting up a fight for airplay, and we are seeing where calypso is receiving heavy rotation. So this is a time in history to me, and people must identify with it, because we do identify with the good things. We allow it to slip by, but I could clearly see that calypso is present. Calypso is back. Calypso is here. It's here. It's all over.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for being here this morning and having that discussion with us and giving us an update on all that's happening within the Calypso fraternity and what we can look forward to.
I must compliment you guys. I see a lot of young people, because I look at you on channel 33, and I must say that Updates is also doing a lot of high quality work. I mean, when I see some of these young people, young presenters, you can't tell the difference between international television and Tobago television. No? So you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Excellent. We are happy to be making you proud. Again, we want to say congratulations to Tuco for all the work that they have been doing, and we look forward to seeing all that happens at the semi-final this Saturday in San Fernando. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break right here, and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Hey, you come in. Long time I see you. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue our discussions this morning and we're having a quick chat with Miss Sulan Alexander, who is an entrepreneur and the founder of Alexander Premium Events, event coordinator, as well for Sushi Soiree. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning and thanks for having me.
Excellent. Now, we're talking about all that's happening for Valentine's Day this year. Tell us a bit about Sushi Soiree and what can persons expect. And who is this for? Is it a couples event? Is it for singles, individuals, friends? Is it a Galentine's celebration? Tell us a bit more about it.
All right, so the Sushi Soiree came about from one of my product lines. I have an organic skincare line, Bougie Skin, and I realized that self-love is something everyone needs. However, for Valentine's, everyone doesn't have a Valentine's. And we wanted to go beyond the mark and create an event where everyone can be celebrated and feel celebrated. So the Sushi Soiree is for singles, it's for couples, and it's for friends. So in whatever phase you are right now, you can come to the Sushi Soiree and feel that love and get that celebration in an elevated experience. It's not a fete, it's not a party, it's a cocktail event with live music, finger foods, cocktails, and more.
Right. And so I see that it's all-inclusive. You get your cocktails and you also get those finger foods. I see it's a sushi soiree, so I'm guessing there's a number of different types of sushi to select
so we have a variety of different types of sushi, because the common idea with sushi is that it's raw, which was my idea. And I was like, I'm not going to eat raw sushi.
Right.
But when I finally got the chance to taste sushi, I was like, oh, this actually tastes good. So I wanted other persons to really enjoy what I enjoyed so that they can increase their palate a bit and then get a nice experience for Valentine's. You know, we always go to dinners, it's carnival weekend, and not everyone is into carnival or attends carnival. So we wanted to have an event where persons can come and enjoy all the same.
All right, and so tell us about the date and the time for the event.
Awesome. So it will be February 14th, actual Valentine's Day, at the Healing Garden at the Lee Chateau in Mount Pleasant, Tobago.
Right. Tell us who is the sushi chef and who are the DJs that are expected to be present there?
Right. So the sushi chef is Leon. He is working with Sakuri Arts. They are located at the branch of Hub in Bonaccord. He's the main chef that is preparing the sushi for us. The DJs, one of the DJs, Gold Splice, and we have artists like Adana Roberts who will be performing live for us with many more surprises on that night.
Excellent. This sounds really interesting. I'm looking forward to that. And so this is happening on Valentine's night.
Yes.
And so give us a bit about the tickets. How much does the tickets cost?
All right. So for the singles, that ticket is called Mingle. It is going to be $350. For the Lovebirds, that's for couples, it's $600, so that admits two. And for Love is for a group of 4 friends, and we really want to limit it to 2 men on that ticket. We want a nice cohesion of different persons on that night. And this is actually what the tickets look like, because we are celebrating love.
Excellent. And so, you know, just give the persons an overall overview once more. So this is happening at the Healing Gardens in Mount Pleasant at the
Le Chateau at Mount Pleasant. Yes.
Right.
We will have door prizes. It's more of an elegantly casual dress code, and there will be a giveaway for the best dress. We have a few sponsors on board, like Bougie Skin. Little Stockholm is giving breakfast for 2 as one of the prizes. Jode's Trendy online store, and we have a few more sponsors on hand as well.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for being here this morning. And we want to remind Tobagoans that in case you are single or you have a partner or you just have a group of friends that you want to celebrate Valentine's Day with, this is the best opportunity for you to do so. It's called the Sushi Soiree, and that's happening on Valentine's night. You know, this is your opportunity to dress up, look cute, come listen to some nice music, have a glass of champagne, and have a great night or evening with some of your favorite people. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussion. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a wonderful morning.